Hi Leo, I'm going to be doing a self-love tarot spread. These are general readings. If they don't resonate with you this week, come back next week. Hopefully I can help you then. These are self-love messages designed for spirit to showcase areas where, currently we might not be taking care of ourselves in the best way, or, being authentic with who we are. Self-love is about reshaping those patterns and those habits that we've developed over time to make sure that we're giving and receiving. I do a 6-card spread, Leo, and then I do the 7th card direct from spirit message. Shuffled a bunch before we got started, so we might as well just move on into it. Leo, the first card right here is going to be how you feel or where you are. In the second position is going to be something that spirit wants you to prioritize. In the third position, this is going to be something that you might have thought to yourself, I'll deal with this later, and spirit really wants you to prioritize and deal with it now. In this fourth position, it's something that spirit wants you to acknowledge about yourself, to be more authentic with who you are. In this fifth position, it's going to be something spirit wants you to let go of. And in the sixth position, it's going to be something that spirit wants you to acknowledge in your environment. Maybe you noticed this, but you didn't realize it was for you, or maybe it's something you don't know about. And the 7th card, like I said, is direct from spirit. Leo, let's get started. Oh, nice. Leo, I see you here in the 7 of Wands energy. This says valor. The warrior here, the warrioress, she is standing up against these pentacles here. I'm sorry, these wands. And she's holding her ground. I don't think that she's trying to cause offense. I don't think that she's attacking anybody. I just see her standing there, ready. And the card here says valor. To me, this is really indicative of being brave, standing up for yourself in your own power, and I really like that for you, Leo. As the sun, you do radiate a lot of positive energy. So you standing firm in your beliefs, all that does is like shine light on other people so that they can feel the same sense of your power. It radiates from you. The more you stand in your own power, the more power you have to give to others, the more positive energy you have. What spirit wants you to prioritize for yourself right now, and I think this is really important, especially to what I was just saying, you have the Empress. The Empress is traditionally about love, right? You can see that she creates abundance, and here she's pregnant. And literally within herself, she creates abundance. She's where you get this saying, women are miracle workers. If you give a woman a home, she'll create a house. If you give her ingredients, she'll create a meal. If you give her, seed, she'll create a whole person. She's all about taking within her, bringing all of this good within her, and then creating from that. She's about love, okay? The Empress. She's our divine feminine. She's all about self-nurturing, self-healing, and self-love. And universe is saying right now, you might need a little bit of this nurturing, because it's awesome that you're standing in your power. It's awesome that you're gonna defend yourself, but at the same time, that might be stressful, taxing, tiring. You might feel burdened, you might feel down. And so universe is saying, hey, you are strong and you're doing a great job protecting yourself and standing up for yourself. But right now you also need to feed into yourself. And that can get tricky. There's a lot to balance in that. So let's see what universe wants you to do. Okay. I think this all sort of makes sense. Universe wants you to go in to this Hermit energy, Leo. I have so much to say about this card. I just love the Hermit because there's so many reasons. Oh my god, I'm panicking. I don't want to waste a lot of time. This card, the Hermit, here we see, okay, is about introspection. It is about retreat, and it is about communion with yourself. What I see here in this spread is that right now you really have this sense of like trying to defend yourself, trying to stand in your own power, maybe just stand up for yourself. Maybe you're not defending anybody, but like you do want to just stand up, you know, and hold your own ground. And that's amazing. Knowing that you deserve space. Oh my God, you matter, right? Take up as much space as you want. But here I see you standing like that. And we want to make sure that this valor that you're feeling is coming from the right place, right? We don't want it to be because of fear. We want it to be because of self-love, right? When we talk about self-love, it's important to understand boundaries, right? I mean, how else are you going to prove to yourself that you love yourself unless you keep your word to yourself? And keeping your word to yourself might also mean that you have to keep others at a distance because they don't vibe with, you know, how you want to exist. So here I see you standing, you know, and you're being strong, but the strength should come from self-nurturing, not from having to defend yourself or pretending like, you know, you have to stand up, or even just feeling like that's what you have to do. That strength that you get should come from inside, is what I'm trying to say here. And I think in order to find that strength, Leo, you need to take some time in Virgo, which is so funny because that's the next sign I'm going to do for a reading for. So okay, one more thing about this card. I'm so sorry. I love it. Okay, you see here this writing. In the traditional Hermit, he's just out there by himself. He's just really alone. He's really just, you know, reflecting. He's really just gone within. And he's shrouded in darkness to kind of emphasize the fact that, like, it is just him and his own thoughts. But here we don't just see that. We see that she has written things down. There's writing on the walls. And I don't read what I'm assuming is Sanskrit, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't read this. But what I get from this is that sense of like honing what you want and then writing it out. It's difficult for people to think, what do I want? And so if that's hard, you can always write what I don't want. I don't want to be lied to. I don't want to be manipulated. I don't want to be used. I don't want to be taken advantage of. All of these things, write these things down. Because what I see is this kind of like change, but let's keep going. So universe wants you to acknowledge about yourself, to be more authentic, you know, to feel more who you are. I see this. All right, this is interesting, Leo. Okay, so I see here we have the Indolence card again, Indolence, and this is the 8 of Cups. If you've been watching these readings, you know that this has come up kind of a few times for Leo. I'm not saying it's all for the same person, but this is my sign of dealing with emotions. A lot of the time what ends up happening, Leo, is we think that if we walk away from something small, or because it's the 9 of, or the 8 of Cups, it feels big. It feels big to us. Like, you know, maybe our partner just wants to have like a serious conversation. But for us, you know, maybe we're anxious avoidant, or we're just dismissive, or just anxious, and it's a challenge. It's difficult, right? And we have these feelings and we want to address them, but maybe we come from an environment where like that's not something that we're used to. Like talking about my feelings. Me, I'm a Pisces, I'll talk about my feelings all day long. What I'm not used to is finding somebody who is also willing to talk about their feelings. Because I'm like, feelings, and everyone's like, no. And I'm just like, no, feelings. So it gets heavy and it feels like it's scary, or it feels like we can't handle it. And so we try to walk away from it. But if you look carefully, Leo, that's an illusion, okay? We see the moon here. He's walking towards the edge of that pier like he can get away from these cups, but what is he headed towards? An ocean. So here he had maybe like 8 problems, and here, things are gonna get so much worse, right? So Leo, if there are feelings that you have, or something difficult that you're gonna have to do, or you know, something that's hard for you but involves your emotions, I suggest just tackling that thing head on. Universe is saying this is in your position of what you need to acknowledge. You need to acknowledge that there are feelings that you're not dealing with. but that also you're walking away from them towards something that could potentially be a lot more difficult to deal with. Because let's say your partner wants to have a serious conversation about your feelings, and that's hard for you. And so you panic, you freak out, and maybe you just try to like, not try, maybe no, you don't try, but maybe inadvertently you withdraw. You know, you're just kind of like, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I can do it. I have to go somewhere else. Oh my God. You know, it's not like you're trying to be mean to them. It's just self-preservation. So you don't have this conversation with your partner. And because you don't have this conversation, which your partner was literally just trying to get to know you better, figure out how you're feeling about things, you know, about the relationship, if there's things you want to like, you know, do or change or spice up, just to gauge where you're at. But because you were so nervous, you withdrew, and now your partner thinks, oh no, they're not satisfied, oh no, they're not happy, and then your partner withdraws, and now you have to deal with like de-escalating a conflict when 5 minutes ago there was no conflict. Don't walk away from something smaller to end up in a bigger pot, you know, bigger pile of poo. Universe says they want you to let go of this sense of victory. Well, we'll have to clarify this. Here we see that there is support for our winner here, or multiple wins maybe on her side. The Six of Wands traditionally is about like that homecoming, having that support. But we see here that she has risen to the top of this. She's king of the rock. She's king of the rock, and we see that there's different layers here, different tiers, and she's up here and she is one. I think a lot of the time, we'll clarify this for sure, but what comes with this sense of winning is, you ever get in like an argument with somebody, and it doesn't really matter who was wrong, but like you're not gonna apologize because I'm gonna win. Nope, I win. Nope. You know, I think maybe this is that like, trying to appear like a winner, you know what I mean? Trying to maybe have things your way, or like go your way, you know, because you do radiate out so much power that maybe you're like thinking to yourself that you know, you deserve this because you are so top tier. And universe is saying like maybe take a step back from that. You know, that's not a really good direction to head. That kind of has a lot of pride in it. While Leo is represented by a lion, and a lion can have pride, that's more of like the shadow side of the lion, right? We use that pride to create bonds with people and strengthen our supports, right? Because like pride can be good, and you can build like whole kingdoms on it, right? Richard the Lionheart, he was a proud leader. He was loyal. He took all those characteristics of the lion and he turned it into something that people could follow and get behind. So you could be a king or a queen too. Just be careful about how you brandish that, about how you share that victory with others. What the universe wants you to acknowledge, that's so strange, is that there is failure. Seven of Pentacles. So I've given my whole spiel on failure. You are not a failure. You cannot be a failure. You can fail at something, but if you failed at it, it probably just means that it wasn't for you, because the universe would never dangle something in front of your face, have you work super hard for it, and then be like, ha ha ha, you failed, try again. No, the universe would be like, hey, that thing that you're working so hard for, that's not really for you. You're going in the wrong direction. And then you'd be like, what was that, universe? I can't hear you. And the universe is like, hey, don't go that way. And you're like, yeah, I got it. And then you keep going that way, and then things don't work out. And then the universe is like, hey, yeah, sorry that didn't work out. Do you want to come this way now? And then you're just like, yeah, I thought I could do it. And universe is like, yeah, I know, but let's keep on going the way we're supposed to go now. If universe was super nice like that, you know, I was sugarcoating a lot because I don't think that's how the universe would talk. I think the universe would be like, I fucking told you. Now you have a tower. Good job. Should have listened. Sorry. What I see in this sense of failure, though, if we look at the picture, what is she doing? She's drawing circles, right? She's literally drawing herself into circles. It might seem to her like she's getting somewhere, because they are spreading out, but where is she going to be able to go? Okay. In this card, I see failed habits. I see an attempt to do something again and again and again, ignoring the fact that what you're doing isn't working. And in that way, I kind of think that failure exists when we stop trying. When we stop trying, okay? I felt like a failure a few times in my life. I felt like a loser. And usually those are accompanied after times where things don't work out the way I want. And then I just go, well, might as well give up. Might as well not even try. If I'm a loser anyway, if things aren't going to work out, I might as well just sit here. And yeah, okay, I am a self-love shaman. I'm trying to guide you to self-love, but like, I haven't always felt that for myself. But I don't consider those times failures. I consider those setbacks. Every single time I got up and I did better than before, I consider that a win. So I see here that universe is saying to you, maybe this direction that you're going, you think it's going to lead to something positive. You think that there is going to be a victorious outcome. Universe wants you to let go of that idea and to acknowledge the pattern or the behavior or this attempt that you're making isn't really getting you as far as you want to go. I think that comes straight back to not dealing with these emotions, okay? Let's see what Spirit says. Dominion, okay, I see this. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit not feeling 100%. So here we have Dominion, the Two of Wands. When I see this card, I think about the Lion King. Everything the light touches, right? Not that shadowy place over there, but everything else. Dominion, what is yours? And I think right now universe is saying that you are going through a lesson about learning what is yours. Know that these are wands, these are not pentacles, so I don't feel like this is like physical boundaries. I believe that this is ideas and belief systems, okay? Because we have the Two of Wands, and Wands is about passion and it's about fire, but like what drives you, right? What drives you? That's the passion. And so I think that when we look at Dominion, we really have to figure out what we want for ourselves. What kind of kingdom do we want? What kind of environment are we going to set up for ourselves? What do you want in that environment? I think that's really important because right now I see this sense of like, maybe yeah, definitely standing up for yourself, but also considering the rest of the cards that are here, maybe a defensiveness, right? She isn't attacking anybody here, our little warrior, but she's also not moving. And that can get in the way of sharing feelings, right? I think that maybe right now you're being blocked or you're being guarded. And maybe we all deal with things the best way we can, right? And if we haven't learned yet how to approach a situation and being emotionally vulnerable, how are we gonna just be like, I'm just a normal, secure, attached person? And my hair fell and I looked a little bit crazy. That's my point, right? Is how will you learn? I think the universe is saying the way to learn how to, lower your defenses and deal with these Eight of Cups are these two cards here, okay? This is that self-nurturing, and this is that self-retreat, self-reflection. Going inside, taking the time to listen to Leo. What does Leo want? What does Leo want in their environment? What does Leo want in their relationships, in their work life? What do you want for yourself? You have all of this power, you have all of this energy. Where are you gonna put it? A sun burns for a really long time, And so Leo, you have all of this time left. How would you like to spend it? I think that's what universe is asking you. I think that's a lesson that you're learning now is what do you want in your dominion? And I think that's so interesting because you're Leo the Lion, and look, you have dominion like the Lion King. Very, very interesting. All right, we are going to go ahead and start to clarify. We said right now, universe is indicating you're in this spirit of valor, trying to stand your ground, maybe be strong, but also potentially coming off as guarded. I think this is a period of growth for you. Like I said, it's really hard to change patterns. Patterns tend to come from belief systems. And Leo, if you come from a place where maybe, you know, you're not used to talking about your feelings, or that's the kind of things weren't encouraged, or pursuing intimacy was not encouraged, then there's no way for you to know. There isn't. The point of these readings is so that we can change those habits and those patterns and hopefully spur some kind of, you know, internal conversation about your belief systems. If you want to talk about any of these things, Leo, my email address and my Instagram are in the box below. You can hit me up. I don't really use my Instagram very much. I'm not really sure what to put on it, but like I'm on Instagram all the time. So if you message me, I'll just answer pretty much, probably, most likely. I have no life. But yeah, so this just comes back to those belief systems. And right now you have this amazing opportunity, Leo, to really learn how to do these things. Yeah, wow, that's lucky. I mean, not lucky, but that's really nice. If you came from a non-supportive environment or not a communicative environment, then that's totally fine. I keep meaning to say this and it keeps just kind of getting away from me. Oh yeah, right? So how do we learn? Okay, so the point of these readings, a lot of us grow up in environments where we learn that in order to survive, we have to give our time, we have to give our energy, we have to give our love, we have to give, and give, but we grow up used to not getting anything back. Unfortunately, those kinds of people, we grow up to be people pleasers. We want to, make the people around us happy. And a lot of the time we'll go to any lengths to do that. And that just means that, we're not showing up for ourselves 100% because we're showing up for other people 100%. Or the opposite of that, and kind of what I'm seeing is that we have to shut ourselves off because other people are kind of dangerous. This comes from trauma. If you're here and you're watching this, I'm assuming it's because you've experienced some kind of trauma. These readings, like I keep saying, are designed to, change our belief systems and habits so that instead of just giving or walling ourselves off from other people, we can learn to give and receive. Now, Leo, I totally think you're capable of receiving. 100%. I do, because look, you have that beautiful Empress, okay? That's you inside. So I know that's there. You have this capacity to receive. I just don't know if you're letting yourself. And maybe you're not letting yourself because you don't really know yet what it is you want. So the universe is saying, hey, go, take some time to yourself. Maybe get a journal, maybe write it down. And again, like I said, if you don't know what you want, write down what you don't want. Parameters, Let's see. So we said right now the Empress is showing us that universe wants you to prioritize self-nurturing. I mean, if that's not double confirmation, the Empress in the tarot is the divine feminine. Here we just have confirmation of that, feminine energy. Our feminine energies really, as the picture clearly shows, right? You can see it swirling here in her womb. Feminine energy doesn't have to come from your womb. It doesn't. It just comes from inside. It's really about your connection with yourself. Women are considered to be more intuitive than men because we are allowed to be in better connection with our bodies, listening to, what's going on with us. We're allowed to express more emotions, which, believe it or not, is actually incredibly healthy for you. And the feminine energy is what delivers your intuition, right? So, I guess what delivers triggers to your intuition, because we all have things going on in our body all the time. Right now, my throat is sore, and I can feel it. And me listening to my body saying my throat is sore, and I kind of don't have a headache, but you know what I mean? And so, like, if I went to the gym today, I'd probably be overexerting myself. And so just listening to my body is the way I connect with myself. That's my intuition. The more I listen to my body, the more used to listening to my body I'll get, the better I'll get at it, and the better my intuition becomes. Right now, I feel like you're developing those skills. So universe really wants you to prioritize taking that time out to listen to yourself. Maybe you have a little scratchy throat. Maybe your lower back hurts a little bit, and universe is like, hey, just rest up a little bit. When our physical body has ailments, it's usually like a sign of something bigger going on with us inside. I have anxiety, for example, and that hurts my tummy sometimes. Or like, I have waking up anxiety, which is the biggest bunch of BS. I did not ask to wake up. I did not ask for that, okay? So like, don't give me anxiety about doing it. That's not fair. Apologies. But I feel that physically. So a lot of the time what's going on internally manifests itself physically. Burden. Okay, Leo. All right. So to clarify both feminine energies, why it's not being prioritized is a burden. Leo, do you believe that, dealing with your feelings is a burden? That's not good. The problem with that is you're always going to have feelings. I'm really sorry. This does remind me of a Virgo reading. This is so funny. You're always going to have feelings. You're always going to be yourself, right? I think, and if this comes out, I won't be shocked, but we're our own homes, right? We live with ourselves every single day. Imagine if you lived in a house with a partner who you didn't like, or who stressed you out, or those ones, like sometimes when it gets to near the end and you're just silent with each other? Oof. That is so stressful. That's so hard to deal with. It's so disheartening. It's traumatizing in a way on its own. But like, imagine though, if you have that same relationship with yourself, right? You are the partner you don't want to share your feelings with. You're the partner you don't want to talk to. So, your feelings are not a burden. You are not a burden, okay? You are a blessing to the universe. And I'm not just saying this. In my version of how the world works, dharma and karma, each one of us is here to experience our own unique set of experiences. Through your experience, Leo, everyone else sees better. You are not a burden. And your feelings, they offer insight into you. I don't know if you've ever seen Inside Out, but those feelings, they show up to Riley's brain like it's their job. Because it is. They work for her. Your feelings work for you. If you're sad and you cry, that's your body's way of saying, I was really sad inside. If you're happy and you laugh, that's your body's way of saying, I was feeling really good inside. If you're stressed and you yell, it's your body's way of saying, I was stressed inside. Right? So all of your emotions have a purpose. They are not a burden. They're not a burden on you. It's just you have to be willing to deal with them. And I think a really good way to get to that point where you are able to deal with those feelings, Leo, is to write them down. If you can't share them, if you don't want to go through it in your head or whatever, just write it down. It doesn't even matter what you write. TBH, I swear to goodness, I have 2 or 3 journals that I will burn. Oh, they will be burned, because if anybody was ever to read just the crazy midnight, 2 a.m., 6:30 in the morning, 5 p.m., crazy ramblings that I have just put into these things, they would probably lock me up. Because they're crazy. But that was what was going on in my head at the time. And instead of, just internalizing that, I had to get it all out. You can get it all out too, Leo. For the Hermit, we have letting go, right? I'm not sure. I don't necessarily get the sense of the Tower. I just get the sense of this being the way that you've done things for a long time. And I think that you have to let go of this idea that your feelings are a burden, or that you can't get in touch with them, or, that you have to defend yourself and be totally in your masculine energy. Self-love. Taking this time for yourself, Leo, it might feel silly, or it might feel unnecessary, or, it might just feel stupid right now, but in the long run, it's really going to help you. Growing up, I came from an unsupportive environment. It was really hard for me to figure out what I wanted. It was really hard for me to figure out even what I could have, what could possibly be available to me. When I was growing up, I didn't realize the I didn't know we were poor. I didn't for the longest time. And so growing up, I've always seen other people who were poor. We came from poor backgrounds. And it wasn't until I was like in my 20s that I saw like how the upper, like how other people lived. Like people who just, come from a higher, I don't want to say quality. I keep trying to say quality, and that's not true. People who just come from money, yeah. There's only one difference. They had it when they were born, and I didn't. I'll have to struggle for it not struggle for it, but I'll have to actually like work to get it in my life, and then it just came to them. But like I didn't know that I could have more. All I knew was what I didn't want. And while I'm not where I would like to be, I am so much farther away than whatever was going on before, because I knew that wasn't going to work for me. That wasn't the kind of person I wanted to be. Those weren't the choices I wanted to make. So here, Leo, I'm seeing that for you. Sit down, write it out. I don't want to be someone who hides my feelings. I don't want to be someone who is guarded. I want to be someone who is self-nurturing. I want to be with other people who nurture me. I want to be able to nurture others, because let's not be mistaken, Leo. Not dealing with your feelings, if this has to do with another person, just leave someone else in the lurch. It's not your fault if you haven't learned to, communicate your feelings. It's not. It's your responsibility, if a relationship is important to you, to put in the time and the work. If you don't, that person who you probably do like and have good feelings towards, and that person who probably likes you and has good feelings towards you, ends up feeling not as important to you as you would like them to feel. And I know that's difficult and scary and might not feel like your responsibility. But if you are someone who cannot communicate your feelings, then at the very least, what you can do is communicate to that person, I'm really bad at this. This is hard for me. And yeah, it's not probably the vulnerability they want, but from someone who is very good at expressing their emotions, I constantly come into contact with people who aren't. And I'm not mad at you about it. But if you're honest with me, it does two things. One, it clearly shows me that you are aware of the fact that you're not good at it. Which is way more refreshing than you not knowing and me not knowing how to tell you. I don't really see how a relationship could develop there. So I'm gonna be happy that you at least know, because then we can like work on it. We really can. And two, I acknowledge that you don't dislike me. I get to say, okay, all right. So you are admitting that, you do like me. You do want to spend time with me, but that's just hard for you. It helps me know you better. I think all those things are good things. If you can't be vulnerable in a way that is telling me how you feel, at least you're vulnerable enough to tell me that you're not good at that. I would think that telling somebody, oh, I'm good at this, would be easy, and it would be much harder to tell somebody, I'm actually not good at this. That's another type of vulnerability. It's not always gonna work if you substitute them out, but at least, we can build on this from here. Yeah. So we pulled the Indolence card for what the universe wants you to acknowledge is this tendency to walk away from things. And I said, right, you're under this illusion that you can walk away from this 8 of Cups and into, you can just walk away because you don't see the water here. And to clarify, we got this Stripping Illusions card. So I think you do know. I think you do know that you are trying to walk away from something and that it could potentially be even worse, right? So maybe your only thing right now, Leo, is that you just have to sit down and so sorry. You just have to sit down and have this conversation, but it's scary, and so you're like, I can't do it, I'm just gonna walk away from it. But I think I think that you're acknowledging that already. I think you've noticed that about yourself, and you're saying, okay, this is hard to deal with, but I know that it's me putting up those barriers because we're stripping the illusions now. Duality. I like this. I'm sure that you guys by now have heard that expression, choose your hard. That's kind of like duality. Duality is like good and bad, dark and light, masculine and feminine. Which also I see here, the Valor card, I really feel like this is masculine energy because she is primed to do something. She's not just in her chest like, oh, I'm feeling nervous or anxious. She's like, I'm going to defend myself. And that's really masculine energy. So here, this could be a card of like being more in your feminine energy or like finding a good balance. But also I see it as, choosing your hard, okay? Leo, if it's hard for you to be guarded, to stand there all by yourself and feel like you have to defend yourself, but it's also hard to like talk about your feelings, you're gonna have to choose your hard, right? You can't just take good and good and good and good. It has to be good and bad and good and bad, duality, right? The universe is built on it. And so I think that you are acknowledging this, but that you have to walk away from these habits that don't serve you. So maybe in the past, what you've had to do or how you've had to act or you know, how much space you've really been willing to give yourself, you know, maybe that served you, right? Like cutting ourselves off, realizing that other people are too scary and we shouldn't give to them. That has served you. And in that way, yes, you are victorious because you are still whole, but these habits are no longer serving, right? Because now we don't feel so safe, right? So we walled ourselves off to stay safe, but now we're not feeling safety. We are feeling defensive. So we have to change those patterns. Oh, Leo. It's okay. It is. I know. I completely understand. Things like this, things that trigger our vulnerability can make us upset. Especially if in the past, when our vulnerability has been triggered, we, you know, get hurt. Yeah, that happens a lot, actually. That's what trauma is. I just learned the other day, about it, betrayal trauma. Okay, this is real. Maybe you thought that you could trust somebody. Maybe you thought, pardon me. Maybe you thought you could give somebody the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you thought somebody was going to show up for you. And in the end, they didn't. Not in the way that you wanted, okay? And through that, you experienced some kind of trauma, okay? Your brain told you, well, shit, I thought we were right. I thought we could trust that person. And then you're like, but we learned that we couldn't. And so your brain's like, well, maybe we just shouldn't trust anybody now. And you're like, sounds fair. I mean, at the time, that probably did serve you. But what I'm seeing now is that doesn't serve you anymore. And if you're angry about it, well, remember that it's often that hurt people hurt other people. And if there's somebody who you're not sharing your feelings with, you are hurting them. We need to put an end to that. There's patterns here that are not serving us. We're not getting anywhere with this, Leo. The universe is saying, change the habit. Go inside, figure out what's wrong, figure out where it came from, figure out how to deal with it, write it all down. Who do you want to be? What do you want to be able to do? And what do you want to stop doing? What doesn't serve you anymore? Girl, we got the truth card here. Let me tell you, this is your truth. This is you. This is you deciding for yourself what's right for you. Don't hang it on the past. Don't say, well, in the past I was hurt. Well, in the past someone triggered my vulnerability and then they hurt me. Don't say, you know, in the past I came from a non-supportive environment. Everything like that is going to be like that, because this is literally universe saying that you need to look deeper at the truth, okay? These triggers that you have, they come from somewhere. And if you stay stuck in the past, you're going to have a really hard time moving forward to find what is for you. But I see changes, I do. And this is great because I think what Spirit is saying here with their message is that you are going to come into that understanding of what is for you. Your dominion. Sorry, I'm really not feeling the best. The grounding card, I really do, again, this is very reminiscent of my Hermit energy. I totally take these two things together. Taking time away, out in nature, to figure out how you feel, okay? The beautiful thing about being in nature is that a lot of the time, the sounds that you hear tend to kind of trigger this more or less hypnotic state. I don't know if you've ever been like sitting out on your back porch and like you hear the birds, you hear the bugs, you hear the cicadas, and like you just kind of zone out. Those are that's literally the energy on your environment capturing you. Like it triggers this meditative state. Going out into nature is going to help you be more grounded, and in that time, spend more time with yourself. And that will bring in this healing energy, okay? Leo, that's what I have. I'm going to do a really quick recap, okay? Because we're already way past time. I want to get these to like 30 minutes, but I feel like I have so much to say. Sorry. And I love that other card, and I just took way too long. What I see here, Virgo, is... I'm sorry, Leo. Because, yeah, that's very, yeah. You're defensive. Yeah, and you need to prioritize nurturing yourself, because you giving back to yourself, letting yourself feel how you feel, accepting that there's things you don't like, accepting that there's things that you want, giving that to yourself is going to nurture you. When we don't show up for ourselves, if I say, tomorrow I'm going to go to the gym, and then tomorrow I don't go to the gym, it just kind of tells myself that I don't really take myself that seriously. So the next time I say, no, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm just like, we're lying. We know we're lying. Yeah. So what happens is I have to switch that, and I have to say, tomorrow I'm going to go to the gym. And then tomorrow when I get up and I don't feel like going to the gym, I say, no, we said we were going to go to the gym. And then we go to the gym. And, maybe if we really aren't feeling it, we'll just work out a little bit. Not like, 2 times, like not just, I'm not just going to kill myself doing it, right? Just to prove that I can do it. I'm going to listen to my body. If I'm really not feeling it, I'm going to do light weights, maybe just some cardio, but like still get in there and still go. And as I'm leaving the gym, just quietly to myself, I'll say thank you. Thank you for making that time for me. Because, if it was somebody else, like if your best friend was like, we're going to go to the gym tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes and you don't hear from them. Hey, bud, why'd you flake on me? We were flaking on ourselves. But then if you go with your friend and they're like, oh, sorry, I couldn't come yesterday. We're definitely going to go tomorrow. And then they show up and then you guys go. You have a great time. Maybe you don't do like super a lot, but you really get in there. You actually do something. And then you're leaving. You're going to be like, hey, thanks for showing up. Hey, thanks for making time for me. Hey, thanks for coming with me. If you would thank them, you should really thank yourself. Because showing up for yourself is hard work too. It's another social obligation, right? And you know how like a lot of the time we don't have energy for other people? A lot of the time we don't have energy for ourselves. But universe is saying, make time for yourself. The more you nurture yourself and figure out what you want, the easier it's going to be to deal with these feelings, okay? And to figure out what is yours, Leo. I really hope that helped. If you need anything, hit me up. Email address and my Instagram in the box below. Have a good day.